I'm going to have the most kids.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, no one's going to step to my kids. Because they're going to be their own little kid gang.
Hey, if you never end up having kids, if I have more than one, you can have.
Aw, thanks, Todd.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But that won't be a problem because I'll have the most kids.
Yeah, okay.
The most. Hello and welcome to the Central Nerdous System Podcast, where everything is nerdy. I'm John.
And I'm Tyler.
And we are back again for our third consecutive week of podcast action. I'm so happy about that.
We are on a schedule, John.
I can't believe it. You know, this has been a good year for schedules for me. A lot of video projects I've done this year have been weekly, and we've been cranking them out.
Oh yeah, no, it's been good, and I'm really, really excited. The fact that I remember when we did this podcast the first time, it was very inconsistent. We would have one month, and then a couple months later we'd have one, then maybe once a couple weeks, and it was just all over the place. So
yeah, but now everything's keeping nice and consistent. We're still trying to get those viewers, those listeners. Mm-hmm. So for those listening to it now, thank you for listening to this podcast. And we got some good topics for you today.
Oh, yeah.
Today's a bit of a video gaming special. We got a couple of video gaming topics to talk about.
Yes.
Some big titles, GTA, CUPHEAD. It's gonna be a fun podcast episode. Tyler, how about you get us started off here with our first topic of the day?
So this is more of the topic. It leads into the topic we're going to talk about, but it's GTA 5 is announced. It just announced that it is bringing out the new Transform Racing mode on the 17th, so in 2 days. Mm-hmm. Essentially, it's a new stunt racing mode in GTA 5 Online, where apparently your car will transform depending on the terrain, and you can design new tracks, and they're going to be new Rockstar created tracks where this does so. So like your car will automatically change depending on sections and checkpoints if you're going to go to a water section or then to a mountain section and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty interesting. See how we just were doing racing last night.
Yeah, we just got back into GTA after taking a little bit of a break from it. Now, I remember seeing something like this on Facebook a while back. It was like a video where they hit checkpoints and whatnot. I thought that was just a mod, but I'm not 100% certain anymore because I was wondering, how do you get a mod for an online server? Well, I mean, I know how people mod online servers.
Yeah.
All too well.
Yes.
But,
don't worry, I'm rich because of it, so...
I got a little bit of cashness out of one of those, too.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, So I saw this on Facebook, and it looks kind of interesting. I just hope that the tracks will be cool enough, because I know sometimes with stunt races and whatnot, things can get kind of stale.
Yeah,
in a stunt race.
I think that's what this is meant for, though, is that the stunt races get so generic doing the same. Like, if you do just a normal stunt race, like a car race, it gets very repetitive, and like you said, it's stale. I think this kind of gives it a little more diversity, so that at least your skill base... So, like, someone might be better in watercrafts versus or in aircrafts. It depends. So it can test the limits of any racing ability amongst the players. So it gives it more variety to a race. So. Or
you could be like me and be terrible at both boats and planes.
Yeah, we found that out with you trying to find me in a helicopter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what we were doing the other night was we had a group of friends on, and if any of you guys out there watch Fail Race. They do a series of videos called Survive the Hunt, where he hides out in the city trying to blend in with traffic while the rest of the server tries to find him and kill him. So we were doing that last night, and we decided we were up in Sandy Shores. We only had a couple people, so we just sectioned off bits of the map.
Yeah.
I was the helicopter pilot for that one. And let me tell you, I am notoriously bad at hide and seek. I've always been. Whenever I worked in restaurant jobs, I had to find something in a freezer. It almost never was found.
Hey, John, can you give me the French fries? Yeah, I'll be right back. Hey, Tyler, I don't know where it is. Go back down there. John, they're right there.
I knew where the French fries were. Those things were stacked up so high in there that it would be impossible to miss. I missed some of the other things in there. Like the stuffing.
True.
But,
true. Very, very true.
But, so they put me in charge of the helicopter, and apparently this guy right here, was just literally standing on a rooftop shooting at me, and I did not notice.
Well, when we first started, obviously I get a minute to hide myself. So I went and parked myself in this garage. You know, it was pretty open. I parked in so that I could look outward, so if anyone drove by, I could see them. And I had one of our buddies, Matt, that's how you say his word and name.
That's how you say his word. Hello, good sir. What is your word?
Matt.
My word is Tyler. And you? John. Yes, good.
That's a nice word.
Anyway. My father has the same word. Continue.
This word's been passed down for many generations. The first of his word.
I have a similar sir word.
Anyways, so I parked myself in this garage. I back up. I see Matt drive by me at least a good 5 times. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to let a little secret, though. I went to check the map to make sure I wasn't out of bounds, and I'm just watching everyone else completely oblivious to where I am. So then I'm like, all right, I'm just going to sit here for a while. Then I finally said, I'm going to poke out. I follow Matt. I didn't say that. I didn't tell this to Matt because I didn't want him to feel bad. But I was behind him as he drove. I followed him for like a good 5 minutes. He completely was oblivious. Then I turned away and he went on his merry way. And then I parked myself with a 4-wheeler on top of a roof. John flies over by me. Start rapid fire shots at him. Nothing. Just completely nothing.
To give me some credit, it was 3 a.m. I was tired. Actually, funny thing, I did actually find him. I saw him on the ground, but literally, I was actually legitimately falling asleep while playing. I was flying the helicopter, and my eyes were starting to close. Well, and I almost passed out there, but I opened my eyes one more time, and I saw him on the ground. I'm like,
see,
it's Tyler.
Yeah. My favorite part was
the fact I woke up.
Yeah. My favorite part was the fact that you guys thought I was in the middle of the lake, and you guys were literally on a search and rescue mission. The helicopter's over the lake. I'm watching you. I'm watching him on the jet ski, looking around. And I'm sitting there on my post with the 4-wheeler, and I'm just like, guys, I'm literally in the most oblivious spot, and you still can't find me. So then I literally drove towards you.
Well, we thought you were in the lake because Spencer and I, the previous night, you were like, it'd be a good place to hide? The lake. And you were just kind of snickering about it and being a real cheeky devil about it all. And we're like, yo, this asshole's probably in the lake.
I was just enjoying going to your Discord channel just to see the frustration. And I was having a great time just sitting there. And because it was funny, Matt was in this motel right next to me for a good 10 minutes. And the only reason why I knew because I kept poking out, see him drive around a circle. He was on foot walking around. Anyways, we are off topic.
Yo, Matt got scared when he was in that motel, by the way.
Did he really?
Yeah, because he was walking around and he was and all of a sudden he goes around the corner, there's just this hobo there, and he goes, ah!
Was he afraid I was going to shoot him?
Well, you know why? Because he watched a lot of GTA mysteries videos. A lot of them involve the motel. Plus, I think for a while, I'm not sure if it's still a thing, but there was a glitch where some of the clowns from one of the weed missions would occasionally spawn there.
That's weird.
So he got terrified when he saw the
oh my
hobo,
God.
and he was just like, "Oh, okay, good. It's just a hobo, all right."
Oh my God.
But yeah, getting back on topic with the new racing mode. So what do you think? Do you think it's going to be a good racing mode? Or do you think it's just going to be kind of a gimmicky kind of thing and won't be that great, like the Rocket Voltic or something?
I think it's going to be fun for a couple times. I think it'll just blend right in. It's just going to be another variant. Mm-hmm. It's not going to it's not that big of an update unless they add so many different levels. I just don't think it's going to make that much of an impact. It's interesting. It's fun. It at least gives us a reason to try it out. So whatever. Yeah, it's free, so I can care less.
Yeah, I mean we don't have to pay anything for that. So that's good.
Yeah.
Which I do like about GTA 5. All their updates have been free updates. There hasn't been any paid DLC. However, the downside is that microtransactions out the wazoo.
Are there microtransactions?
Oh yeah, I mean, well,
where do you do it?
Here's the thing. So the way it works is you can buy shark cards, which is like their in-game currency. So like you know how typical, like usually like a lot of mobile games and whatnot, they have their microtransactions. Like you buy coins.
Yeah.
In GTA 5, you buy shark cards that gives you extra money so that you can get like all the cool stuff quicker.
Yeah.
So a lot of complaints now have been because they've been raising the prices of everything to astronomical levels. Now, if you really want to get into like some of the high-profile crime things, you really have to buy shark cards. Like, otherwise, you have to grind for hours and hours and hours. It's harder to make money right now.
True, and it's caused inflation, and I think the fact that there is a stable, like fluctuating economy inside GTA.
It's kind of interesting how entire economic system's in there, but it's been been climbing.
That spreads across any MMO. I mean, that's been a thing for years, as far as like even like RuneScape or World of Warcraft, stuff like that, having its own economy and stuff like that. But
luckily for me, I'm basically for GTA Online. I'm solely interested in racing.
Yeah.
So the only thing I get are cars and upgrading cars. So that's still fairly expensive. I still actually can't do anything with Benny's auto works because like I got like $600,000 and it's still not enough to upgrade my Sultan. The Zentorno I bought was less expensive than the Sultan upgrade, and that's just so you can upgrade it to the point where you can start doing cool stuff to it.
The hard part, I think, is what's frustrating me. Like I have to level up in order to get the certain upgrades that I need to make my car fully functional.
Because you can't beat me at racing.
No, I can't. I suck. It's infuriating. I do one wrong move and there's nothing I can do about it.
Because you can unlock a lot of the auto stuff by getting, 40 wins?
I have like 1.
I've got 70.
I don't even know where to look at my win ratio, but I think if you hover over my character, I'm not sure.
You get that when you're in the lobby.
Okay.
When you're in the lobby, like picking your car and whatnot, and you hit when you ready up, you can scroll to everyone and see their win-loss and their odds and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think you only have I think you're still in single-digit wins. You're not at 1, but like you're pretty low on the win count.
Yeah, I know. Don't remind me.
Hey, for a while I was pretty low too. My issue is that most of my losses are second-place finishes.
Yeah.
Like I want to say like a good majority of them I finished second.
You know, it'd be really fun to do if we did like a Grand Prix amongst the friends or something like that.
Oh yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Based off our design tracks, that'd be something we could do in the future.
Another thing I want to do is a demo derby.
Oh yeah,
get a couple sedans and like just smash them up.
That would be pretty fun. We could do it in the dirt track area.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun. Anyways, so back to the update. It's kind of a cool thing, kind of cool addition. But it brings up a good point. I found this article. Hopefully I can find the link for it. But it's pretty much, it talks about DLC and its impact on the gaming industry. Because if you look back, obviously DLC is a more recent thing in recent years because of being able to download things, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
If we go back to retro games, what is DLC? Making a whole other game. That's your DLC. A sequel was your DLC.
Or like those mid episodes like Vice City Stories or something was like you can kind of say it was a DLC to Vice City. Almost.
Yeah. Well, in any game related thing, and the person brought up a good point. They're saying it was pretty much saying DLC is putting a damper on game developers creating new IPs. It's causing a lot of developers to sit pretty on a game that's doing very well, instead of researching and going and trying to create the next big thing after that. And there was an interesting point that I thought was pretty interesting. And I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it, and we could talk about it a little bit.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I've seen DLC done right, and I've seen it done wrong.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of like those small DLCs. I'm trying to think of an example. I know the infamous horse armor DLC. What was the game? I'm blanking. Was it RuneScape or WoW or one of them?
Horse armor?
Yeah, it was the infamous horse armor DLC. Did you ever play DLC Quest, the game?
No.
They referenced that in that game, of course.
I'm assuming it's probably WoW.
I think it might be WoW, because like they started like doing all these like DLCs for different things, and there was like a really expensive, real world money DLC for whatever it was, and it was for horse armor. And all it was just a cosmetic armor for your horse, and it was like and it like cost like almost like a quarter of the cost of what you probably bought for the game or something.
I'm not surprised.
So it caused like a huge backlash, and after that they scaled down their DLC stuff. Plus, I'm trying to think of other stuff. Like a lot of the NASCAR games on console, I know like they release extra paint schemes and like little alternate scheme packs. So like you pay like I don't know like $5, you get 5 new schemes or something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a big fan of that type of DLC, like all those little tiny transactions, because you know I mean, I don't feel it's really worth it in the end. All that small stuff, especially if there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like like in a NASCAR game, there's going to be a lot of paint schemes, so you'd have to buy like a good 10 packs to get all the extra schemes, which would end up if they're $5 a pack. I don't think they're actually $5. It might be something like $2.50, but still you have to shell out a little bit for each one, and you're getting close to another game.
I think I have a respect for a lot of games. A good game that does it well is Rocket League. Obviously, that game is insanely popular now. I mean, it's shot up. It's like a rocket. No pun intended.
Ew.
It's obviously one of my favorite games of all time, even though I played it on a whim when I got it free on PS Plus, and it was just there. And I'm like, oh, my buddy and I, ZD, were like, oh, let's play it. It looks stupid. And then we fell in love with it in 2 seconds.
And now it's taking over the world.
Well, I believe it's an interesting topic we can talk about too. Is that Rocket League itself is going to be the game to bring esports into the real world, like really serious. But we can talk about that another time.
Let's talk more about them DLCs.
But Rocket League, as far as DLC goes, is that they release it's all free. There obviously is microtransactions for aesthetic things, which I have no issue with it. I don't mind microtransactions and DLC packages for aesthetics because it doesn't affect the actual ability to play the game. For example, like paying to win is probably the most infuriating form of DLC there is out there. So,
and a couple of games have done stuff where like the true ending of their game is a DLC.
Yes,
which really cons you out. I also don't like ones that, you know, to really like get the full experience of the game, you have to pay money for it. Like your DLC should be extra stuff, or if it is its own standalone thing, it should be like a pretty good standalone thing. Undead Nightmare for Red Dead Redemption is one of my prime examples of, in my opinion, the best DLC ever.
Yeah,
since it's basically a mini Red Dead Redemption, but with zombies, and it has its own story, own plot.
Yep,
it's really. I mean, it took me a decent while to beat too. So, like, I want to say Red Dead Redemption. I don't know how long it took me to beat it. I was kind of younger when that happened, but it took me maybe about a third of playtime to beat Undead Nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pretty substantial amount of time. That's about as long as say one of my favorite games, Lisa.
Yeah,
it took me to beat that. So
how much do you? I don't know if you remember, but how much was the DLC?
I bought mine separately in the store.
Yeah,
because they actually released it on disc at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I got in the store. I can't recall how much. It probably was like. It had to be. It was under 20. I know that, but it also came with a couple other DLCs.
Yeah.
So like a lot of extra guns and whatnot. It came with some of the smaller DLC packs with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I consider that one a pretty substantial DLC. Like whatever I paid for it was worth it.
Yeah.
Skate 3, I think, also had some pretty good DLC. We used to be big Skate 3 players. They would release these little extra parks, so they give you an entire new area, a lot of different parts and pieces. A lot of them gave you new create-a park tools and locations.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I thought, and they weren't overly expensive either, to my memory. Cause I didn't think it was a scam to buy them, so I bought them.
Mm-hmm.
So. And, they were fun. They had extra levels to the game, extra challenges, and they just improved on an already really good game.
Yeah. So that brings us back to your opinion on it. Do you believe that DLC is preventing developers from creating new IPs, or do you
I look at it in the way that I feel. Depending on how they do it, if they do it right, having constant DLC for the same game is not necessarily a bad thing if it's, improving the experience of that game and keeps it going.
Yeah.
Like GTA, for example, it's still going after all these years. They keep adding new stuff. There's new updates.
Yep.
I'm not mad that there isn't a GTA 6 yet. I mean, like...
It's in development. It's
granted, the only complaint I have with GTA 5 is that there was no story mode DLC. Or like an update for that.
Yeah.
But, they're keeping their online section going and thriving. I've seen games that, like, shut down their servers, like, after a year of release. Like, WWE 16
yeah.
Like, I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna play some WWE 16. I got the game late.
Yeah.
And then like online was closed after a month of me getting it because 17 came out.
Oh, they do server. They shut down the server per game. That's
yeah,
ridiculous.
They shut it down per game. But also, what the worst part was? All your customization tools, like if you wanted to upload custom textures or faces or whatever.
Yeah.
That's all done through online. So when they cut online, they cut all of the custom content out. So you can't download any other person's wrestlers anymore. You have no access to that stuff. The game is just you go back to default game.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And same thing happened with Skate 3 when they shut down their server. Like you can't do any custom logos or anything anymore after that.
Oh, yeah.
But that at least for them, they waited a while before they shut it down.
Oh, it was a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you look at Destiny, they originally wanted a 10-year game, so they would release updates for it each time around. If you do that, I'm fine with that. Especially if you pay your thing to get in. Yeah. And they keep updating it, and you keep going back. Some people are probably going to pay for microtransactions, or if you have a big update, like a WoW or something. Yeah. That's a worthwhile thing.
Well, with WoW, they do expansions every couple of every 2 years or so. They do a big expansion. Mm-hmm. And that seems to keep the game alive. I mean, the game's been around for a very long time, and a lot of people still play it.
Yeah, and because of that, are people shouting for WoW 2? Do people want World of Warcraft 2?
Well, I don't think that's the point. The point, for example, is the fact, Blizzard hasn't had a problem in making new IPs. I mean, Overwatch is a great example of that. Yeah. They are a huge company that has a lot of money. They can do whatever they want. I think this is more referring to smaller companies. The market right now in video games has become, you got to think, GTA 5 is still a very popular game, and it came out in 2013. And I think that's the big point, is that Rockstar is such a big company. Yes, they put a lot of time and effort into their games for quality. And there's a lot of work involved, and that's why, GTA 6 will probably come out in another 2-3 years, tops. Obviously, they finally are going to be releasing Red Dead Redemption 2, which you're probably very, very excited about.
Yes. Yes, I am.
That is a good example. Oh, fun fact about Rockstar. You might be excited about this. They are bringing LA Noire to the Switch.
Really?
For their update. It's a remastered version of LA Noire. That's one of our favorite games from Rockstar. We both really, really enjoyed it. Yeah. But that's a whole other thing.
I love me some murder mystery.
So my brother might pick it up on the Switch when it comes out.
Oh, nice.
Anyways, but I think what it's referring to as far as, for example, Psyonix that makes Rocket League, they hit it big with their one game, right? I get it for a smaller company in that sense. They're going to latch on to their one big hit. They're going to keep pumping out DLC. It works fine because it makes the game more interesting. It makes me come back for it. That's done well. I think what the main point they're saying is that there's so many games that have been around for such a long time now, like GTA 5, because these companies are just like, you know what, people like it, let's just keep putting more into this one game. And I think it's starting to shrink the market, and there's not, indie games is what's giving us variety.
Yeah, well, but here's what I see. I don't think that's the issue, though. The issue isn't the DLC that's causing a stagnation. It's just the constant sequels for franchises that maybe aren't fresh anymore. Yeah. You kind of think of your Call of Duty, for example. Yes. Call of Duty's problem isn't DLC. Call of Duty is just that they keep releasing the same game each year because they want to capitalize on the quote, and people keep buying the same game. So
they're making their money.
They're making their money, And, you know, to be fair, I mean, some have been better than others. I'm personally not a huge fan of Call of Duty. I haven't really gotten into that series, but I know some people that really do like the series, and they've hit ups and downs. Assassin's Creed's another one. Started off strong, then they've been kind of up and down with quality.
Now you can pet cats.
Now you can pet cats in Assassin's Creed?
Yeah. Because you're like in the Egyptian times, and you can pet a pharaoh cat, or I forget, the Egyptian cats. It's stupid. It was funny. I saw a little clip. It's like, oh, I don't think I'm going to get the new Assassin's Creed Origins or whatever. And then it's like, Ubisoft shows you this. You're able to pick up cats. And then you immediately run out and buy it because you can pick up a cat. But anyway.
Actually, I can actually give some credit to Assassin's Creed, though, because the developers are making a new IP based around Black Flag, but, you know, with the same mechanics, but, like, it's not related to the Assassin's Creed universe from what I'm gathering.
Well, I'm glad, because the pirate element to that game was very impressive, and I wish there was more pirate-themed games, because it is such a cool idea. Like, another game that's like that is Uncharted 4 was all pirate-themed, and I got my own boat, and it was really, really awesome. But anyways.
Yeah, like, I'm just trying to think of examples of DLC-driven games that, like, are making things stale. Like, if The Sims, I'm just looking at my wall of Sims games right behind you over there.
Yeah.
You know, they've released tons of expansion packs for each one, which those do add up. I will say that. I am a big fan of The Sims. Expansion packs do add up, and I feel like some of those expansion packs should really be in the base game now.
Yeah.
Like, seasons should be a base game thing. And maybe, like, I don't know, like, apartment life or something, since, you know, that's a type of living, I guess.
Yeah. Like,
that shouldn't be a DLC. Like, I can see stuff like, I don't know, like, university still being a DLC, because, like, you know, that's an unnecessary part of the game.
Yeah, it's a whole other experience to a life of a person.
The vacation ones, or the travel ones, like, that's not important to the core Sims mechanics. But, I mean, like, right now, the fact that there's no Sims 5 right now, it doesn't bother me. I mean, the Sims 4 is going to probably go for a while. I'm not a huge fan of the Sims 4, but you know, I still got the Sims 3, which is good.
I think the moral of this topic is that, like you said, the oversaturation of a certain type of game, like the Call of Duty franchise. I mean, everyone knows that it's just, I think I'm happy to see games like Destiny breaking that barrier in the shooting game element. Yes, Destiny was a little bit of it was definitely shorthanded. It wasn't what everyone expected.
Just a smidge. It missed its 10-year goal by how many years?
It lasted a good 3 years. We'll say 3.
3 years.
Which is
the king of games.
Respectable 3 years, though. It wasn't too bad. And, you know, it
only got good after, like, what, the second year?
If you bought if the DLC, everything they released, and this is another thing with DLC, if all that DLC was in the base game, that game would have been phenomenal. But again, you don't want to release everything at once, because look how crazy it is. I'm playing Destiny 2 right now. Okay, everyone within the first week or 2 weeks, they already maxed out characters. They already completed so now what they're doing is they're easing things in. So like they did this in Destiny 1, but like they would give you the base game, and then week 2 that it was out, it would then really unlock a new thing. You didn't have to pay for it. It would unlock it so that these people that are going like bananas and going crazy and already maxing out characters aren't like beating everything that they had to offer at once. At least it paces the gamer out. So I respect that element of things, but that's the issue, is a lot of people expect like everything at once, and I mean it's hard to pack everything into one game, because then everyone just plays it in 2 seconds and then they're bored. I think that's the good thing about DLC, is it keeps the game fresh and alive a little longer than it should be. It's definitely better than just releasing a whole new game like COD and like Assassin's Creed every year. But
yeah, especially I also feel that way with like the sports games, you know, because Madden, they release a new one each year.
Yep.
How often is it widely different than the previous year?
Like I would respect them to just do it every 2 years, whereas in the sense that, because there's really never a big difference graphically between this year and that year. And it's really just roster changes as far as the sports games
Honestly,
go.
You know what I'd be okay with? I mean, I'm not a Madden player, but you know I think would be a good thing for Madden? which obviously they're not going to do this because, what they have going right now is currently successful. People still buy the new Madden every year.
Yes.
I'd like to see, like, say they release Madden 18, right now.
Yep.
They have Madden 18. And it's the same, it had an engine for it, so all the same there. Then maybe next year they release, like, an update.
Yeah.
So it's like, new roster, and, like, they add maybe, like, a game mode or something, or I don't know what they could add. Maybe it's, like, a small charge. You get updated roster, updated teams, different game mode.
Yeah.
They have to add some goodies, though, to make it worth the cost.
Mm-hmm.
And, they just keep doing that and keep releasing them every couple years. Then when they get a new engine developed, big new features that are bigger than, like, the little ones there, they release a new game. Say they release Madden 21.
Yeah.
So the previous game, Madden 18, had a good 3 years of shelf life of updates and whatnot. They made the most of their engine. Now they have a new game, even better graphics. Maybe it's the next generation of consoles that's on, and they can just keep updating it from there. I mean, like, they're not going to make as much money as the other one, granted, but, like, as for a consumer, I think that'd be pretty good. And you would avoid those criticisms of it's the same game 4 years in a row.
Yeah, like, I automatically only buy, like, 2K. I only buy it every 2 years. If maybe. Because, I don't play it as much as I used to. But yeah, you're totally right. That's definitely a good system. I've talked about that for a long time, of them hoping they would do something like that. Yeah,
like WWE games, like I mentioned earlier, I bought, last WWE game I bought was 2009. And that game kept me occupied because I was looking at, like, at the time I looked at 2010. I'm like, that's basically the same game. Not much going on. Yeah. Didn't buy it. 2011, it's basically the same game. Didn't buy it. 2012, it's basically the same game. Didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Then like, I think 2013 was an update. Like, they updated their engine a bit, but it wasn't too great. They didn't finally get all the kinks worked out until, like, 2016. So I bought 2016. Now the 2017's out, it's about the same. I didn't buy it. So I'll probably buy the next one, what every 8 years I'll buy a wrestling game?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Which is a shame, because I like wrestling games, because, who doesn't love wearing colorful costumes and tombstone piling driver someone off the steel cage?
Yeah.
But
I've always been interested in your point of view in games, because you don't you don't buy a lot of games or play a huge variety of games. Usually,
I'm not a typical gamer.
Yeah.
I'm very selective what I pick, and I'm also more of, like, I'm more of a story-driven guy. I'm not a big multiplayer person.
Yeah.
With the exception of, like, friendship games, I guess, like Minecraft and GTA.
Yeah.
I like friendship games.
Well, no, I mean, it's a respectable thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely Discord is definitely the best thing that's ever happened to us. Mm-hmm. Way better than Skype, that's for damn sure.
Oh, what now?
Yeah, what is that?
I've never... what is these words? They sound like a old forgotten tongue.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Now they have video sharing.
Yeah.
Skype is officially dead to me. I can uninstall that thing.
Yeah, definitely. I did. I already did that.
You know what's funny? Sean, who was on the podcast last week, we were going to record one of the Hark races for his channel.
Yeah.
And it involved screen share, because we were just, sitting watching the race and whatnot. I was like, here, we'll try out Discord's new feature. We go to Discord. Discord was down.
Oh.
It went down on Friday the 13th.
Oh my god.
So I was like, well, I guess we'll go back to Skype.
Well, at least you had the backup.
Yeah, at least you had the backup. But yeah, I think overall, until I don't feel that DLC is necessarily stagnating us from new IPs, because we're getting tons of new IPs from all across the board. Even some of the big studios, they're still cranking out the new IPs. I mean, Rockstar hasn't gotten a new IP in a while, but I don't think they need to worry about that. They've got enough quality games.
No, they're definitely good. They're good. They're good.
Yeah, they're fine, because GTA 5 is still going strong. I mean, like, the story mode's kind of old, but other than that...
Yeah, but it's still good. Like,
the only thing I wish now is just, I kind of want a new story for GTA, but, like, I'm not, like... The fact that I don't have it right now is not bothering me.
Yeah.
Like, I can still wait a couple years.
Mm-hmm. Well, I get the argument about this
Mm-hmm.
this topic is the fact there are certain games out there that like I said, latch on to their one game, and then you only see or hear about that game for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's very old, and I think it's a different era of gaming as far as back in the day when you had like the Nintendo magazine, you look through it, oh, look at all these new things coming out.
Yeah.
It's hard for games to be original now. And I think that's why it's becoming so oversaturated.
Mm-hmm.
Like back then, every new concept was revolutionary. Every new thing. Oh, you can now jump down a hill.
To be fair, though, there was a lot of space shooters back then.
True. Yes.
There was a lot of copycatting at that time too. It wasn't like every studio was a trailblazer.
Well, no, but like every time something big happened, though, it was mind blowing. I mean, you got to think when Nintendo first brought Zelda to 3D and Ocarina of Time, we didn't live through that gap, that huge just jump into the digital world of gaming and everything like that. My brother experienced it firsthand, and it was mind blowing to just see his reactions to it. He was trying to really explain it to me so I could understand it, and it's hard. I mean, it's been so quick. Like our lifetime as far as games progressing, it's just been so natural. Like, it's like, oh, the games are always supposed to look this beautiful. But then I'm also a retro gamer, so I do respect the evolution of gaming as a whole too. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not a graphics guy necessarily. Like, I mean, if the game looks nice, well, hell yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
But I'll play pixel games and whatnot because
that's the thing.
It doesn't matter to me as long as the game itself is good. It can have whatever graphics it wants, unless they're so bad of graphics that they hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when I was younger, and I played GTA Vice City Stories.
Yeah.
And seeing how that game looks, it's very polygonal comparatively to other games. And then Red Dead Redemption I got soon afterward,
which is very beautiful.
Which that blew my mind when I first saw it. 'Cause, the horse was really detailed.
Yeah.
And, John Marston had all these different things on him.
Mm-hmm.
You could see his face, you could see everyone's face. And that was a big thing for me. That stood out to me.
Yeah.
He didn't look like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Cause I think at the same time, I was playing Guitar Hero, which looked good, but it was very cartoony and whatnot, and had more simple graphics comparatively. But yeah, that really stood out to me. So I can only imagine what happened when you went from pixel to seeing Bubsy the Bobcat flounder about in digital plain land.
I mean, I guess we'll never understand the true feeling of it.
Damn millennials.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
But
they'll never understand what it was like in the good old days.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of the good old days, I think that might be a good segue into our next topic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because Cuphead, which is based on the good old days of animation.
I even had a better segue than you.
Whoa, what is it? Why don't you say your segue right now?
Yeah.
This is a new segment on the show. Who had the best segue? Vote in the comments down below on which of us had the better segue. So, Tyler, why don't you lay that sweet segue on us, and we'll see what the fans think.
You're putting a lot of pressure on me, man.
Oh, I think this is going to be splendid. The best segue I've ever heard.
Listen.
Tyler, I am so enthralled. I want to know what it is. I'm jonesing for a good segue. I haven't heard a good segue since 2004.
Listen. We were directly talking about games being revolutionary. And a new visual and aesthetic and mechanical system to the games.
Yes.
And we were talking about how games are becoming a little dry. And then I was going to say, but then we got this new game called Cuphead. Mm-hmm. It's revolutionary.
Oh, so basically that Contra clone that rips animation from the 30s?
Yes. Yes. Indeed.
Revolutionary.
Yes, revolutionary indeed.
I kid, I like Cuphead.
Anyways, let's talk about it. So interesting thing here. The game's been out for about 2 weeks now. We have both yet to play the game.
I know, I really want it. I just don't have enough Steam monies.
I probably am going to look into getting it. I was waiting to see how good it was. overall review of the game, most people love it. The only problem is that people think it's very, very hard. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the game has already reached 1 million copies sold in 2 weeks. And that's very impressive for a game of its caliber.
Golly.
Yeah. So it's hit platinum. And in the gaming industry, hitting 1 million copies sold is very impressive, especially in 2 weeks. And especially for a game that only costs $20 and it's more of a smaller title. So,
yeah.
I mean, yes, it's been hyped for a long time. I think it was released and announced in 2014 at E3, but it was in development for several years before that.
Yeah, because I remember when I first saw it, because I forget if it was the time we did the first E3 podcast, or if it was the one before it, but
yeah,
I remember I was watching the Xbox show, and they just like flashed this game on screen, CUPHEAD, and I'm like, why did they just show that for a second? Tell me more about that one.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about Madden. I want to hear about CUPHEAD.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear about that cuppy boy.
You know, it's funny. You talked about CUPHEAD for a while, but I didn't remember it being announced because it was such a small thing. I think at the time I didn't care about the Xbox One. I was more focused on the PlayStation at the time. But then I got looking into CUPHEAD, and it just looked fantastic. And, I mean, obviously, it's doing very well.
Every E3, I would always hope for more info on CUPHEAD, and it always would add like an additional like 5 seconds of information each E3.
Yeah.
And then this one, they finally got like a decent bit. So like this year, they finally had some morsels of information, and then it got released.
Yep, it finally did. They dropped it on us, and you know it's pretty crazy. Is that for those of you who don't know the concept of CUPHEAD, it is a side-scrolling game. That is, the art style is themed towards, I mean, you were saying more the 1930s.
Yeah,
but,
well, 2030s rubber hose animation.
Yeah.
So think old like Steamboat Willie, Betty Boop, Coco the Clown, etc.
The animation style of the enemies, the surroundings is all in that old time cartoon feel, and it's really nice. It's really, really crisp looking. It's really, really cool.
Oh yeah, I was so impressed. I remember I was watching a thing with one of the animators, and he was talking about the process. It was all hand-drawn animation.
Yep.
For it all, and just like the concept of doing that for game sprites, you know, it's already daunting. But then to like do it in that really fluid style of the time with all sorts of movement and
well, the character's always bouncing up and down. You know, that's the whole thing. That's kind of the rubber hose style there.
Yeah.
Like even down to the details of like when you shoot an enemy in that game, it like kind of like goes into a puff cloud type thing.
Oh yeah.
And the art of just that puff cloud is just so.
Someone had to draw every frame of that.
Yeah, and it's respectable. It's very really good. I mean, no wonder why it took so long. I mean, animation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hand drawn animation itself is a very long process, and it's just. I don't know how big the team is behind CUPHEAD, but I would assume it's on the smaller side because of the time consumption it took to make it. So
yeah.
But I'm proud. I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of got that same. I think it's going to hit that same love as Shovel Knight did.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
It's kind of in the same exact caliber of taking a retro style side scroller game and making it into the modern day.
Yo, forget the new Dark Souls. It's the new Shovelhead. Sorry, Shovel Knight.
Yeah, no, it is.
So yeah. It's funny because everyone like jokingly compares everything to Dark Souls if like you feel slight challenge to it.
Oh God, I freaking Dark Souls. Like I've played Dark Souls. I've played Bloodborne in the same realm, same people, obviously. It's more infuriating than an enjoyable game. Yes, it is. It is fun. The boss battles are awesome. Yada yada yada. It's just so dark and boring. Like, I think the atmosphere, I mean, this is just my opinion, but I think the atmosphere in Dark Souls games are very just flat. I don't know, a lot of people love it, but like, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I was really disappointed with Bloodborne. Like, I was watching stuff and I was so bored.
Like, I tried to play it.
So bored.
I tried to play it. Yes, it is a pretty good game if you like the series of the Dark Souls series. I watched Game Grumps play it, blah blah, but it's just, I don't know. I couldn't really. Nothing motivated me to go and explore because the world itself was so flat and boring.
I haven't watched much in Dark Souls, so I can't really judge it. Like I've just not been interested.
Dark Souls is a little more vibrant than Bloodborne.
Yeah. Also, you know what I didn't like about Bloodborne? Those dang loading screens. I was watching them. I was watching the Let's Players play them in real time. And just like the loading screen, I could go get a drink of water, come back, and it would just finish up.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So like,
yeah, it was ridiculous. If you died and then had to come back, it was ridiculous. So back to Cuphead.
Well, I thought we were talking about the same game.
Apparently.
Cup souls.
So it is. We were talking about it before, but it is a very challenging game for the average gamer.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say it is an insanely hard game for I play a lot of video games, and
you do?
Yes.
Since when?
Oh, a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm glad to see you. Are you liking them?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's nice to hear, because video games are fun. I like video games too.
Yeah.
Woo!
Video games. Anyways, and what was I talking about?
Oh, nothing. Well, thank you for watching this episode of the pod.
You got me off track, John. Oh, we're talking about difficulty of the game.
Yeah, you said you play video games.
Yeah.
You play a lot of video games.
So, I have yet to play the game, so I don't really know the true challenge factor to it. But I have played games similar to that of challenge, like Super Meat Boy, which was a very is an indie side-scrolling game that was made to be ridiculously hard. And even to me, that game was still, it wasn't like impossible. And I like games that I like games that make me die multiple times and I have to restart and keep going and keep going. I love those kind of games, so I'm really excited to play it.
So here's the difference between Super Meat Boy and Cuphead. The thing with Super Meat Boy is that they really hit upon something. They made dying very satisfying almost.
Yeah.
Because you go through it, you fail, you try again. It's really quick. You get back to where you were very easily. There's a lot of checkpoints and whatnot.
Yeah.
And at the end of the level, you see all the times you die, which is kind of a nice cathartic
It's
thing
it's meant to kill you.
Cuphead, though, you have to work for your checkpoints a little bit more. So I've only seen a little bit of Cuphead. I'm trying not to watch too much because I want to play it for myself.
Yes.
So I just watched maybe the first couple levels being played. It looks like it could get frustrating.
Yeah.
But just based on because I think each stage is broken up in the 4 parts. But each part takes a couple minutes at a time. So
I think I was watching the first 2 couple levels of it, and I think the interesting strategy of the game is that enemies come from the left side of the screen as well. So usually in most side scrollers,
you're never safe.
Well, yeah, exactly. But usually most side scrollers, you beat the enemy and there's nothing behind you. You beat the enemy, you move forward, and that's it. In this game, I've noticed you can start because you can shoot in the game too.
Yeah.
And you start
very Contra-esque shooting mechanic.
Yes, and you're hitting them, but they can also come from behind, and you could be on a platform, or you could fall off, and you could be stuck in between 2 fleets of enemies, waves of enemies coming at you from all different angles, and I think that's where the true difficulty comes in. I have yet to see the different platform layouts later on, because usually that's how platformers work. Mm-hmm. Platforms start off easy in the first couple levels, and then they get more unique and harder as you go.
Yeah.
It's got about a 10-hour, roughly around 9 to 10 hour playtime for the main story mode and other extras, which is pretty respectable, seeing how the game is only $20.
Yeah, I was very surprised when I saw it was $20. I thought it was going to be around $30.
Yeah.
But I guess because it's a little on the shorter end, comparatively, Lisa is about $10, around the same length.
Yeah. But
Lisa was a one-man project, pixel art team. This is a full animated adventure. Mm-hmm. So RPG Maker game versus this one.
Oh, yeah.
A lot more production in that one. Not to discredit Lisa, though. That's one of my favorite games of all time.
But Lisa's also as a story-driven type game with story-driven mechanics where Cuphead is just challenge platformer. So a challenge platformer that's about 10 hours of content is very good. Like Shovelhead.
Yo, I can't wait for that new Simpsons video game, Shovelhead. Ned Flanders, everyone's favorite neighbor. He gets his shovel,
Yep.
From that one episode where Bart thinks he killed his wife.
Oh God.
And Ned goes on an adventure with his shovel, spreading the word of God and vanquishing his foes in a bloody crusade.
All right, we're making the game.
Here, I'll get 20th Century Fox on the phone right now.
All right, let's do it.
All right, but why don't we finish the podcast first?
Yeah. No, these are big things we gotta do.
I gotta talk to some agents. I gotta talk to some other developers. Get an art team going.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to add the DLC. Oh, it's gonna be great.
Can't wait to add that Chief Wiggum DLC.
Yes.
It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna give shovel upgrades. Oh, it's gonna be fantastic.
Oh man, you can
microtransactions for getting a glowing shovel. Oh.
Well, here, what you do? The idea is, Rod and Todd Flanders can be summoned, but they have a coin cost.
Oh man!
And the microtransaction will be you pay to have Rod and Todd come in.
Oh my god!
And Todd will say, "I don't want any damn vegetables," and then the enemy will just be frozen in place by his sheer disregard for vegetable consumption.
Oh my god. Wow.
Matt Groening, get coding. Get those fingers moving. Start coding that sucker, Matt.
Jesus. You know what?
He's a summon.
You know, we should run this by our buddy Joe Nesto. He's learning how to code games, right?
He sure is. You know what? He has all the time in the world.
Yes!
He's not busy doing anything.
Yeah, we should even link him in the video. Put his face right in here.
Nah.
Boom!
Nah. Don't feel like editing that much.
Very true. Anyways, let's go back to Cuphead.
So you play a lot of video games with a lot of different... You're talking about Shovel Knight?
Why was I talking about Shovel Knight?
Because it's hard.
No, I was talking about, comparing it to the amount of time I played Shovel Knight, which was about 10 to 12 hours.
Okay.
So respectively, it's on the same par as Shovel Knight as far as quantity, and that game was very, very good.
Agreed.
Anyways, not as good as Shovel Knight coming to your stores.
2020, November. Get it for your kids.
Now, there's an interesting topic I was going to talk about. We were talking about how difficult the game is, but the problem with difficulty in video games is kind of the big topic I wanted to talk about. Is the fact that when is a game so hard it's bad? Like, what defines a game to be so hard that it's just infuriatingly bad?
Well, why don't we talk a little bit about, to get into that, why don't we talk about how we feel about difficult games.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not great at video games. Yeah. I like them. I'm not great at them. I'm like that critic who reviewed Cuphead, who couldn't pass the tutorial.
Yeah, you told me about that.
I feel like I could have probably done a little bit better than him, but I feel like I would have probably struggled to do something with that.
Yeah.
Cause also the parry system in that game looks like, I feel like I'm not going to be able to get the hang of that parry system.
Oh, yeah.
That seems going to be hard. But despite me not being very great at video games, I do like difficult games. I'm a big Binding of Isaac fan.
Yep.
I have hundreds and hundreds of hours in the Binding of Isaac, both the original and Rebirth.
Yes, you do.
I'm not sure if it is actually a hard game, but I consider Shantae and the Pirate's Curse hard. Not like impossible, but fairly hard.
It's a respectable side scroller.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I'm just bad or if I'm still stuck on one boss in that game. I've not yet beat it.
Yeah.
Because there's a really specific part you gotta hit, and I can't hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. Can't hit. But there's that. I'm obviously gonna get Cuphead when it comes out, so I'm not threatened by the challenge.
Yeah.
But I'm also someone who plays a lot of games that are quote unquote easy. Like I play The Sims a lot, which is I literally tried doing a homeless challenge in The Sims 3 and still managed to make a net profit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's obviously not that hard of a game. City Skylines I don't consider particularly hard, though I just mostly play sandbox mode on that.
Yeah.
Most of the difficulty comes from just some BS that happens to you. But so what is your opinion on hard games? Do you play a lot of hard games, or do you like a little bit more casual, fun experiences?
I'm a tryhard through and through. But so I like a game, like I was saying before, is I respect games that make me die over and over again to try and beat the level. If I can beat a level first try throughout the whole game, yes, I enjoyed it. So, like, I never really hate a game. I'll still enjoy a game. If I'm beating it to the end, that means I enjoyed the game.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't get past the first section and I get too bored really fast, then I obviously didn't like it. Which is very rare, especially with side-scrollers.
Yeah.
Because side-scrollers, I feel, obviously, is the most classic format of games.
Mm-hmm.
It is what made games so popular, Mario being the ultimate.
Who?
Yeah, Mario. Ever heard of it?
Who is this Mario you speak of? Never heard of him.
But yes, that...
Is he in that Legend of Zordo?
Yeah, definitely. That's Legend of Zorro.
Oh, yes, of course. My mistake. It's about the sword guy.
Yeah.
He's a sword guy.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, I've played a lot of games that make me keep going and keep trying. And I think I don't think there's ever a point where a game gets too hard, it's bad. I think that a game, if it's too hard, it's bad, means it's broken. So essentially, like, in more of the older games, in the old generation,
mm-hmm.
like the SNES era and the NES era, there was a lot of games, and the only reason why they were super difficult, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, it's because it's broken.
Yes.
It's stupid broken. It's not like the developers purposely were trying to make the game virtually impossible. Or maybe they were.
Actually, there's some cases of that being the case. I believe Larry Bundy, on his channel, he did a video of, I think it was like 5 games that were purposely meant to be unbeatable.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot of times, like maybe like they're getting close to the end and they're running on a budget.
Oh, okay.
So they make the last level or a couple levels early on so difficult that it's impossible to beat them.
You don't get to the last part.
So you don't get to the end.
Oh, okay. That's interesting, though.
I think sometimes they even did it for arcades games to kind of scam people.
Oh, so motivate them to keep playing.
Yeah, if they make it impossible, you have to keep playing.
Sure.
They won't know that it's unbeatable, so they'll keep putting in quarters.
And then the one person that does it, they're going to be like, what? How? But yeah, no, I again, that's my main thing, is that I think any game that's super difficult, I am a person that loves a challenge. So some people that are turned away from CUPHEAD, I wouldn't be turned away from difficulty. It would be more motivating for me to want to play it even more. When I hear a game is super hard, I buy it. Like that, guaranteed. I'm going to be like, oh, this game's relatively hard, except for Dark Souls. Let's ignore that. You know, it's a whole other realm. I'm not going to dive
Garfield
into.
kart racing is really hard. You going to buy it? Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jimmy.
Yes.
You're going down, John.
That would be pretty interesting, though.
Lasagna. It actually is a game that exists. It's
I know.
pretty bad.
I've seen it. I've seen it. But so yeah, no, I think all games are really, really like I respect it, and I think it's only broken if it's purposely broken or it's an accident.
Mm-hmm. I feel there's a couple factors that make difficulty fun. Firstly, it has to be something like, if it's something that's skill based and you can learn that skill easily, you feel accomplished. Also, like what Super Meat Boy did, they make it so that dying isn't a hassle.
It's enjoyable.
Like if you die, you don't get sent so far back that it's like you lost like a half hour or something.
Yeah.
Lisa, as a fault, sometimes has that because Lisa's actually a pretty difficult game.
Yeah.
And saving is important for that. You could die just by like walking off a cliff accidentally because you switch screens and like you walk too far and you fall off.
Yeah.
Like, they managed to take a game where you're just kind of walking around open world and make it horribly, horribly dangerous and potentially frustrating. In fact, there was actually, before an early patch to the game, it was actually possible to die on the tutorial intro.
Oh, wow.
Because if you fall off a certain section of it, which was possible to do, you'd have to go through the entire intro again, which was 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Like, to that point, it was a couple screens away from the first save point.
Yeah.
So there was no save point prior that you could do, so they added a little rock with a balloon to help block you from falling off.
Oh, that's funny.
They said this balloon saves your life.
That's funny.
So, difficulty, also to show just Video Games Awesome when they played Lisa, which is a video game show I watch, a Let's Play series. It's really good. You should watch it. They're really good. When they were playing Lisa, they didn't save a lot because they weren't thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So they died in like one of the boss battles or something, or something cheap. They lost like a good 30 minutes of progress.
Oh, wow. Well, that's...
And it resulted in them stopping their playthrough of it.
Oh, okay.
Because they were like, I don't feel like going through that 30 minutes all over again. So I like Lisa. Lisa's one of the best games I've ever played, but that is a fault with the game and a fault with difficult games. It can't be something so difficult that like it pisses you off. You want something that makes it fun. Like, I gotta beat this. Kind of like that puzzle game mentality. Like, oh, I got this puzzle in front of me. How am I gonna beat it? And when you finally beat it, you feel lifted up. You're like, oh, look at me. I'm smart. But here in this one, it's like, I'm good at video games.
And I think you're right, is that it is the checkpoint aspect of games. Whereas if a game is very, very difficult, but gives you a lot of places to give you a breather. So it's like, say in a side-scrolling element, Cuphead apparently doesn't have many checkpoints. It's very hard to work for them. Like it shows a progression track even on each level.
Yeah,
I noticed, which is very cool. It shows you how close were you to actually beating the level, which again is in a lot of games, but not in a lot of side scrollers, surprisingly enough.
Yeah,
because they don't want you to know. But I think in this game, it's purposely trying to be difficult, so they're trying to show you, oh, you were so close. Start over again.
Or maybe that's part of their anti-frustration system. It's just showing you that, like, I mean, you died here, but just think, you only had a little bit to go.
Yeah,
so it's not like you have to wonder, like, all right, how long is this level? Like,
true.
How long do I have to avoid these damn carrots?
Very, very true. And I think that games that don't offer that, again, it's very, very annoying. If you like, there's a game, if you have like Amplitude, was kind of the birth of the Guitar Hero era with song playing, but it was essentially the difficulty of Amplitude was a lot more intense than Guitar Hero. It's hard because I don't think you've ever really played.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
So I've seen it be played.
The originals were so intense, especially when you get to the expert modes. But there was no checkpoints, same as Guitar Hero. You had to just beat the level. Mm-hmm. And the only reason why it wasn't infuriating is because you're playing a song, so it was a little more fun.
Yeah.
But then if you don't like the song, like they had a Slipknot song. I couldn't stand the Slipknot song, and I was very infuriated.
You didn't like the Slipknot song?
No.
What are you, stupid?
No, I did not like the Slipknot song.
You have to have a certain level of intelligence to enjoy Slipknot.
200 IQ. You
have to have a 200 plus IQ to enjoy Slipknot.
So I think games that obviously, like Cuphead does it well, having the tracking meter, but again, if it doesn't have a checkpoint, and you did all this work for nothing, and you just have to keep repeating it, and you get stuck in a loop, then I think one game that did that to me, I had to restart. My whole file was Fallout 3. I went too far into a zone where the creatures were too high of a level, and I was trapped because I couldn't fast travel because I was too close to enemies. But I also couldn't escape because the enemies are too difficult. So I was stuck. I tried whatever I could to sneak away. The game isn't like incredibly hard. It wasn't a reference to saying Fallout 3 is incredibly hard. It was just an infuriating moment where I literally got stuck. Mm-hmm. And I never finished the game because I had to restart and I never was motivated to go back to the game. And I think if you take that element of things, and if a game makes you so infuriated that you just give up because you lost all of those hours of progress, like you said in Lisa, if you didn't save, that's 30 minutes of time spent gone. But also, that's an RPG element.
Well, also, I know a fun thing about Lisa? There's actually a hard mode.
Yeah.
Which, what it does is, whenever you save, the save point explodes. So you can't use it. You can only use the save point once.
Oh, God.
So you save it. Say you save the first one, it explodes, deals you 50 damage.
Yeah.
And then you have to continue on. You can't use that same save point ever again.
That's a lot.
So you have a finite amount of save points, so you have to choose them wisely.
That's interesting. Where, another game that actually has a cool checkpoint system is actually Shovel Knight. Whereas in if you decide, you can choose to use a checkpoint. You have the option to in Shovel Knight. I don't think you've played Shovel Knight.
I've not played it. I've been interested though.
So there are certain checkpoints like any other side scroller, but if you choose to use them, you get less bonus at the end of the end of the level. And obviously, your bonus allows you to get upgrades to your shovel and it's different special abilities you have that are needed farther in the game. So I thought that was the coolest element to it. And also, if you use a checkpoint, same thing. Once it's used, can't use it again. Mm-hmm. So that was that. It's a very interesting idea element they had of the game. So it makes it so that it gives you a little bit of a crutch, and then it kicks you right out from under you once you use it. So, which I do appreciate.
So interesting thing that we could segue to here is like what. So we were talking about now. Difficult games, we like if they have like a good anti-frustration system. What about bullet hell games or like those really intense ones? Like, what do you feel about those? Like the ones where like it's just nothing but death on the screen except for the spot you're in.
Give me a good reference to what you're talking about.
I'm trying to think of
Are you saying more like waves of enemies, like ridiculous, like just...
Like, you ever seen those, like, Japanese bullet hell games where, like, it's you on the screen, like, in a little ship or something flying around, and, like, it's just, like,
okay.
Bullets, like, here. It's a bullet hell style game.
It's funny. I never...
Kind of like the Hush fight in Binding of Isaac as, like, a different example.
Yeah,
like, that one's kind of a bullet hell boss.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Now I know. I get you now. Those certain stylistic choices of games are only good some of the time, like because it looks overwhelming. Those games, if you're watching it, oh my god, it looks impossible. When you're playing it, it really isn't that hard. Mm-hmm. So I think when a game tries to make it look difficult, it makes it worse. In a sense, it's like it's still fun. It's still, but it's also just
because with bullet hell, it's actually the opposite. You don't make grand movements. You just kind of like do small, little, tiny movements to just kind of skirt around everything while still shooting and destroying.
Yeah. Which it can be fun, but it gets very old very quick. Mm-hmm. Not to discredit the game style. Some people really, really are addicted to them, and there is a challenge base to it, especially with level systems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
it's all kind of timing based.
I don't think I've ever really gotten too much into that kind of style of game. I've played them, but I've never really...
Because you're a wimp?
No, I just never really enjoyed it. Again, it's not like it was super difficult. I think it just wasn't fun after a while. But that's just me.
Which, I get that. Because for me, like, I'm more of a story-driven guy. Like, I'm fine with a game that's easy if the story's good. Yeah. Or, like, if it's kind of like we're, like West of Loathing, which came out this year, I really enjoyed a lot as a game. Really good story, really funny all the way around. Difficulty in that game is actually kind of odd, because it's either incredibly easy, or, like, one shot, you're dead. Yeah. So, like, there's, like, no in-between, I feel like. Either I'm facing something that I can easily crush in, like, a couple hits, or I go into the battlefield and instantly get one-shotted to death.
Oh God!
But I will say though with that game, it was never like very frustrating, because the only thing you lose by dying, and it only happens if you die twice. Yeah. Which you can actually be leveled up to more time and what is that you lose all your perks for that day. You just go back to dirt water, and you just start with no buffs or perks. Okay. And then you have to consume food to get more perks. Mm-hmm. So, I guess, that's an example of how they took something like... Because, like, if the game was, like, an instant game over, if you, just get one shot in a cheap battle, then that game would suck. I would have been pretty mad and not liked West of Loathing. Yeah. But, because it's just, like, okay, it's hard in the sense that, like, it gives you a cheap kill, but it doesn't take a lot out of you. Like, you can still progress normally. It's just, like, oh, you lost, like, your +2 damage buff for the day. Mm-hmm. I guess it's fine. Though I didn't play with a lot of buffs in that game. I'm one of those guys that hoards all their inventory items.
Yes, we know, John.
I'm going to save them for later.
Yes, Skyrim's a great example of that. And then you learn the hard way. I'm going to walk through the first town with all of my pockets full. Oh, but look I have no clothes on. Where am I storing all this stuff? Oh. Oh. Oh.
Well, that wasn't the issue. The issue is that it just weighs you down in that game.
Yeah, and then you're moving at the speed of slug.
But like, but I mean more like in this way, like I play Dota, which is where I buy items but just like kind of hoard them.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a really awful Dota player.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun to play, especially when we play with you. We'd be like, John, no, get back. John,
Get
John,
back here.
John.
John, you're in the wrong lane.
John. That would if we could record in one match how many times we said John, it'd be a lot.
I'm not good at Dota.
It's okay though.
Not good. I like Dota. I'm not good at it though, which is not good in the sense that it's basically a multiplayer game. Like you gotta get good or die.
Yeah.
I'm not good, so I died.
Back to I was just thinking about a cool idea for a system for checkpoint based in a game. Is
for a ShovelNet?
No. A game that really did it a unique way is actually Star Fox 64. Essentially where...
Man, they had a lot of sequels for Star Fox.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot.
Yeah, 64 sequels, man. How did they keep the originality up for all those games?
Yeah, I have no idea. I wonder how they did it. But anyways, a cool system. You've probably never played Star Fox 64 through and through.
Nope.
Or at all. But essentially...
I haven't played it all.
It's a cool system where there are a bunch of different planets. There are bosses at the end of each planet. But it gives you this sense of, if you fail, you still get to continue. But you don't get a different route. So, like, in order to completely beat the game, you need to beat every single level the exact way you're supposed to. But it also allows you to have an easier course of action. So, like, there's one in the first level, if you don't do this certain thing, you'll then go, it like splits. So think of it as like a chain reaction between all the planets.
Yeah.
And instead of going left, you go right, which then goes into a whole other story mission or a whole other challenge. And then you go onto a completely different path to a completely different ending. And I thought that
I've seen the level screen for that. It's kind of a branching path.
Yeah.
Onward.
And I always thought that was really interesting as a kid because as a kid, I wasn't like amazing at games. I still was trying to learn coordination, like when I was like 5 or 6 years old. And my brother would go into these there's also this intense lava planet, and I would like see him on these crazy levels. And as a kid, I'm just like, I want to go there, and then it motivated me to get better.
Lava planet.
But no, it's cool. It was definitely one of those things where even if you don't do it exactly right, because it's challenging, at least still gives you a motivation and actually still enjoy the game to move forward. That's a really unique way to add challenge and to add some structure to it at the same time. But, yeah.
So, Cuphead, looking to play it.
It was a good game.
Good. It might. Well, I can't give it a rating yet 'cause I haven't played it yet, but I think it's going to be good. It looks pretty fun.
We should play it together, and we should record it.
Ooh.
Speaking of Cuphead, though.
Yeah, Cuphead.
You just dropped a new video on this channel.
I sure did.
You did.
Let me talk about that now since we're kind of winding down here. I upload a new speed draw. This channel, I primarily do art-related stuff. A lot of fan art and speed drawings and whatnot. Just dropped one for Cuphead, and I was really happy with how well it did. Did pretty well. I think at the time of this recording, about 7,000 views, which is far more than my other speed draws. Like I think the highest one before this was like 300.
Yeah.
So this really blew out of the water. So I want to thank everyone who took the time to watch it out there. I really appreciate it. Plus all the people who subscribed for that video. I hope you're watching this, and if you are, thank you for subscribing. I really, it made me feel real good that video did pretty well.
Let me just tell you guys out there, this buddy John, he's a good artist. He's good. And if you actually want more requests, you can put a comment section in the bottom of this video here. Give him some requests to draw some other stuff. He wants to get some stuff out there, right, Johnny boy?
I sure do.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'll do it because I'm a busy man, but I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Oh, well.
But, so I believe we're winding down for this podcast. So, how about we wrap things up? Well, anything you want to plug, Tyler?
No, I don't have anything crazy to plug. I mean, I still got the cafe out there, the Wanna Play Cafe. If you check out the Facebook page out there, give us a like. You can see some of the fun events we got going on if you're in the area.
You got a couple of cool events happening soon. What are they? Why don't you tell the people?
We are doing a murder mystery night That's actually on November 5th. We also have the Extra Life charity event, kind of talking about video games today. We're doing a 24-hour charity event with Extra Life, playing video games all the time. We're going to live stream it. I can probably find the link for it. I have to make sure. We can put it in the bottom of this video if I can tag you in it. Check out for that. We also have our big Halloween party for our first annual one there. We're going to have a costume contest. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun. So if any of you are passing by Utica, New York, you want to have some fun, stop by for those.
Yeah.
Want to play Cafe in Utica, New York, that should be a fun time. I'm going to the Murder Mystery Night. I believe that's, November 5th?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be there, so should be a lot of fun. For me, still going to plug my fan comic, Dank Midori. That's on my DeviantArt page. That's still going strong. New comic every Tuesday. Lately, I've been getting them up at around like Tuesday, like as soon as it turns Tuesday, like from midnight, I just upload one. Working on one right now, actually. Hopefully, I get it done in time. But I still do that. Do a lot of different stuff. Still going to be doing stuff on the Cittiverse channel here. Got a couple other speed draws listed on the side of my computer on a little sticky note, so I might crank out some new ones.
Might have a Cuphead Let's Play. At some point.
Yeah, we have to get Cuphead, but we might have a Cuphead Let's Play.
Yeah.
Been kind of straying away from video gaming on the channel. Been trying to focus more on the art, but if we have some fun Cuphead shenanigans, we'll upload those.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that's mostly what I've been doing. I think you guys would be interested in. So this has been yet another episode of the Central Nervous System Podcast. Had a lot of fun today, a lot of good discussion.
Oh, yeah.
If you have any input on the topics we discussed today, comment those thoughts down below. We'd love to hear what you think about what we talked about today.
Yeah.
If you got any good insights on those.
Also, if you got any good questions for us in further podcasts, if you want us to answer or discuss about, just let us know.
Yeah, maybe we'll even mention you in the podcast if you have a good question.
Mm-hmm.
So, from us here at the Cittiverse, I'm John.
And I'm Tyler.
And thank you for listening. Greatest officially recorded number of children born to one mother is 69.
Oh.
Theodore Vasilyev.
16 pairs of twins?
Dang. What is she, a rabbit?
7 sets of triplets. What? 4 sets of... What? What? No, it's not real.
Guinness World Records. That's a trusted source.
That's a thumbnail for that article. Oh my god.